Over 2,800 kilometers of the Euphrates River traverse Turkey, Syria, and Iraq. The river serves as a vital source of water for industry, transportation, and irrigation. It resembles the area's vitality. Along its banks, numerous important cities, including Ur, Uruk, and Babylon, were constructed. You know what's even more fantastic, though? North of Basra, in southern Iraq, the Tigris and the River Tigris join to form the Shatt al-Arab, which empties into the Persian Gulf. Many ancient civilizations, including the Sumerians, Akkadians, Assyrians, and Babylonians, benefited greatly from it. Almost like a torrent of historical events, the Euphrates River rises in eastern Turkish mountains, travels through Syria and Iraq, and then empties into the Persian Gulf. The Karasu and Murat, two ancient Arsanian rivers, are the river's two origins, and they combine somewhere close to the Kiban region of the Azlazic province. The Iraqi city of Hit, which is only 53 meters above sea level and 1,930 kilometers upstream, is the furthest that very shallow draft vessels may cruise on the Euphrates. However, the river's shoals and rapids above Hit make it impassable for commercial ships. One of the nations that benefits from the Euphrates River is Turkey. The Karasu and Murat rivers, which flow together to form the Euphrates River, originate in Turkey. Since the middle of the 1960s, Syria and Turkey have planned significant dam projects to use the waters of the Euphrates. The Tabqa and Kaban dams have already been constructed by Syria and Turkey has other sizable hydraulic projects planned along its section of the river. Between 1965 and 1975, the Kaban Dam, one of Turkey's biggest dams, was built. Karakaya, which was finished in 1987 as a part of the GAP project, is another noteworthy dam. Biresik and Karkamis are two other dams. However, the Ataturk Dam, which was built on the Euphrates River close to the province of Sanliurfa between 1983 and 1992, is the biggest dam in Turkey and one of the biggest in the entire world. These dams were constructed to supply water for irrigation and flood control, as well as hydroelectric electricity to this region of Turkey. Let's look at how often the Euphrates River is mentioned in the Bible. The Euphrates is one of the four rivers that originate in the Garden of Eden, according to Genesis. You should be able to tell from this alone how significant this river is in the Bible. Following the Pishon, the Gihon, and the Tigris, the Euphrates is the fourth river to emerge. It is frequently referred to simply as the river, and serves as one of the borders of the territory promised to Abraham and his offspring. Let's go ahead to Jeremiah's book, where we find a prophecy about the Euphrates River. Jeremiah predicted that Babylon's rivers, including the Euphrates, would dry up as a result of their worship. The Euphrates and Tigris rivers are indeed drying up, which makes this prophecy important. Is this prediction coming to pass? Decide for yourself. Another prophecy about the Euphrates River can be found in the book of Revelation. The final book of the New Testament, Revelation, is packed with prophecies regarding the end of the world. One of the 7 bowl judgments foretold in this book is the drying up of the Euphrates River. The bowl judgments are said to take place at the conclusion of the 7-year tribulation, which many Christians believe will occur prior to the second coming of Jesus Christ. The drying up of the Euphrates River is specifically mentioned in the 6th bowl judgment, the second to last judgment. The great river Euphrates water dries up after the 6th angel poured out his bowl on it, preparing the way for the eastern kings, according to Revelation 16:12. According to the prophecy, the river will dry up in order to make it easier for a sizable army from the east to cross the Euphrates. This is viewed as a sign of the end times, when the monarchs of the globe will assemble in the region known as Armageddon in Hebrew for the final conflict between good and evil. According to legend, this conflict will be so devastating that it will eliminate all of God's foes. Let's now examine the Islamic reference to the Euphrates River. There is something special about the Euphrates River. It is a river rich in history and Islamic allusions that highlight its importance. Muslims think there is a mountain of gold and other buried wealth in the river that will one day be exposed to the world. This occurrence will serve as a sign of the impending end times predicted by the Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet Muhammad is quoted as saying, "The hour will not come until the Euphrates recedes, revealing a mountain of gold over which people will fight." This is recounted by Abu Huraira. 99 out of 100 people will perish. They will all assert that they are males. This authentic hadith, which is related in Sahih Muslim and Sahih Bukhari, highlights the importance of the Euphrates River in Islamic eschatology. The Prophet Muhammad forewarned people present at the event against stealing any of the treasure for themselves, since doing so would be a test that might bring one to ruin. This caution highlights the significance of resisting materialism and greed in the face of temptation. It serves as a reminder that genuine richness can only be found in the treasures of the heart and soul, not in the transitory riches of this world. There are numerous additional Islamic allusions to the Euphrates River in addition to this hadith. The river is described in the Quran as one of the 4 rivers that flow from Jannah. A number of prophetic hadiths also refer to it as the scene of the Great Wars, including Armageddon, also known as the Battle of Dabiq. One of the indications of the end times, as predicted by the Prophet Muhammad, is thought to be this conflict. Let's now discuss the consequences of the Euphrates River drying up. Even though the Golden Mountain hasn't yet materialized, it appears that some of the predictions made in this hadith are now beginning to materialize. Local populations are dealing with food insecurity, decreased crop yields, and water scarcity. This then results in financial hardship. Here we're referring to how people's means of subsistence will be impacted. Not to mention how the quality and quantity of the water are declining, harming the ecosystems and biodiversity of the river. Wetlands, fish numbers, and bird populations are all being affected. Additionally, because stagnant water serves as a breeding ground for bacteria, viruses, and mosquitoes, the prevalence of waterborne diseases is rising. Surprisingly, there's still more. There are now geopolitical problems as a result of the Euphrates River drying up. This essential resource is shared by many nations, and the distribution and management of water resources have become divisive topics. We don't need further political tensions and conflicts because of this. Let's now concentrate on those who are impacted by this. Concerns are being expressed by engineers and aid organizations about a potential humanitarian disaster in northeastern Syria. People are deprived of drinking water and agricultural water due to rising temperatures, decreased rainfall, and drought throughout the region. As dams fail, energy is disrupted, which has an effect on the well-built infrastructure, such as hospitals, and how it operates. It's time to stop making light out of this drought and start treating it seriously. Let's not forget Iraq. In the wetlands, you may observe the reed gatherers shouting out to tourists in a passing boat while standing on land they've formerly floated over. It breaks our hearts to see them hold up their rusted sickles and shout, "Makumai," meaning, "there is no water." The Euphrates River is considerably smaller than it was a few years ago, due to Turkey and Syria's restrictive water regulations, a 2-year drought, and years of mistreatment by Iraq and its farmers. Many officials worry that it may soon drop to half of what it once was. In order to drive out Shia insurgents who had sought refuge in the reed beds, the previous dictator of Iraq, Saddam Hussein, drained the Mesopotamian marshes, one of the largest wetlands in the Middle East. Up to 200,000 people were forcibly removed from their homes, including the Marsh Arabs, who had lived in the region for more than 5,000 years without food. It is one of the greatest environmental catastrophes in the history of the globe that 90% of the marshlands have disappeared, according to satellite images. Although Hussein's administration targeted its rivals, the effects of this ecocide are still felt throughout Iraq's former paradise. As we travel further downstream, the river's dryness emphasizes its significance even more. What does its dryness mean for the future of the nation? This affects people worldwide, not just those who live in the impacted nations. The world may very well become involved with the ensuing economic pressures, disruptions, and conflicts if this issue is not resolved. The golden mountains that emerged after the Euphrates River dried up are truly stunning and mysterious. Could they be hiding ancient secrets or treasures? Or are they just natural formations that reflect the sunlight? We may never know for sure, but we can always speculate and marvel at their beauty. What do you think of these golden mountains? Let us know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one.